Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing a lovely model from Breguet, launched in 2005 as a model. The example in my hand was retailed in 2009. This is the Classique Extra Plat 5157BB in white gold, and it lives up to its name. Don't bury the lead, Tim. This watch is only 5.6 millimeters thick, extra plot indeed. 38 millimeters in diameter. It's also only 45.2 millimeters from lug to lug, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We're going to put it on my wrist. Now here's the thing. The strap is very substantial, super high quality, and it's made of the good stuff, large rectangular symmetrical scale alligator. As a result, it's not broken in. It's very stiff. They always start that way. So when I put it on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, I have to pull it tight, which is squeezing my wrist and exaggerating the size of the watch. Make no mistake, this watch will fit on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. Down the barrel, I have all the clearance in the world between the edge of the lug and the edge of my wrist. Over the top, again, I'm pinching it really hard so that it's compressing my wrist. This will easily fit inboard of the edge of your wrist, even down to 13.5 centimeters. And you can see that the watch is ultra thin, truly only about as tall as the hair on my wrist. So extra plot it really is. The buckle, a lovely piece, as you can see, in white gold to match the watch. It's fixed to the case using screws and bars. The strap is fixed to the case using screws and bars. Screws and bars is better than spring bars. It's more expensive, but also safer. So I am all for it. We have large rectangular scale alligator leather, black, a semi-gloss. You can see that there's a little bit of bolstering or stuffing. We've got a folded edge with a monotone stitch, calfskin on the bottom, and a brand new Breguet factory strap. The case features welded on lugs, an old school way of making a case. It's slow, laborious, and artisanal, but it allows these super sharp breaks between case and lug to be achieved. We also have a cold rolled case, so this coining is achieved by cold rolling and then hand finished in a jig to create the beautifully composed decoration you see here. This little gap is actually for a case knife for the watchmaker who may work on this watch in the future. That's completely normal. That's just part of the case construction. We have almost a symmetrical bezel and case back, both domed with flanges, and the flanges define the mid case. We have a Breguet B on the crown, and then underneath you can see engine turning surrounding a cut rotor and the Breguet 502.3 movement based on the Breguet P71. Rolling back around to the dial, we're not finished here yet. The dial is also made of solid 18 karat gold. We have the pantograph inscribed Breguet secret signature up at the top, which is more about branding really than anti-counterfeiting today. But rest assured, this would be very difficult to reproduce as we feature a number of different cuts on this dial. This is real lathe guilloche. This is not stamped. The dial is also made of solid gold. It's then silvered with the calibrations and the numerals and the letters added. So solid gold dial and a solid gold watch. You can also see some of the details are exquisite. Aside from the different cuts used, you can see that these little cabochons of polished gold are used at the individual hours, and that we have stylized Roman numerals radially arrayed, including a watchmaker's 4, and we've got fired Breguet style hands that the master himself would appreciate, steel and fire blued. Turning it all over, I mentioned that this movement is based on the long-running ultra-thin Breguet P71, so you could see the distinctive 3/4 style rotor. We have attractive engraving along the flanks. The movement is only 2.4 millimeters thick, so it's a movement of 70s vintage. It does have some upgrades that I'll show you, but its claim to fame has always been that it is incredibly slim due to this 3/4 rotor and then features like the open barrel that allow you to see the mainspring and also reduce thickness. It's been adjusted in 5 positions, which the standard version of the movement is not. It pivots on 35 joules, and you can see another upgrade right here, which is that it has a free-sprung balance that allows for a very precise setting and better shock resistance. Here's KIF shock protection. Intriguingly, not just on the balance staff, but also on the pivot of the escape wheel. You can see that's a distinctive feature of these. You can also appreciate that the winding system is unidirectional and very efficient. Unidirectional, believe it or not, is more efficient than bidirectional in practice. So a 3 hertz beat rate, a 45-hour power reserve, and an ultra-thin movement with a lathe-cut rotor. You can see that the letters themselves are achieved by a drill, but then the cut on the rotor is the result of engine wrought detailing. We have polished bevels on the edges of the bridge. You can see that, but you can also see polished bevels within the jewel sinks, which I deeply appreciate. Engine turning on the base plate. You'll note stripes running perfectly aligned across the bridges, polished screw heads with chamfered slots and circumference. You can see the engraving, invariably attractive and compelling on the outer reaches of the movement. It's all 30 meters water resistant, which is fine for splashes while washing your hand or if you get caught out in the rain, but don't swim with it. But for every other occasion, what a companion. A watch like this from Patek Philippe, ferociously expensive. From Breguet, it's a best buy. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.